Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. We have Dr. Massage with us today. He was a part of the last Immigrant Entrepreneurs Summit, where he hosted a workshop on turning personal history into powerful leadership. And he has agreed to come and give his presentation. For all of you who weren't there or who would like to review the content that he has, he is a speaker and lives in Boston, correct, Dr. Massage?
Yes, Boston area. Yeah,
yes.
the world. Yeah.
So thank you. I will kick it off to you now. If anybody at any point has questions, please do feel free to put it in the chat or raise your hand so that he can address you later on. So turn it over to you now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Catherine, for giving me this opportunity to come and share this webinar with you together. Yes, and also I want to say thank you for the opportunity that you provided with me to come to attend the summit a month ago. So it was a wonderful experience, okay, as well. And so usually when I do my workshop, I usually do it in person because I like a lot of interaction, smaller group interactions, and also group interactions. So this is a little bit kind of I wouldn't say new, but a different setting, okay, for me. So that being said, as Catherine has just said about me, Dr. Massage. I live in Lowell, and I am also the author of The Power of a Personal History, Turning One's Life Tragedies into Triumph, that you can find available on Amazon. It's a recent book. It's a book about a memoir of my journey. So that being said, the topic is turning a personal history into powerful leadership. So I have a couple of questions. Okay, look, what is a history? Okay, or personal history? Okay, is it worth your time and energy to better at the practice of a history? And why don't we learn from history? Okay. So sometimes when we think about history, it is something that probably is not relevant to what we are going through today. It's something usually we think that it's the past. It has nothing to do with the present and of course the future. So these are a couple of things or a couple of answers that we ask ourselves, or that we hold for ourselves when we think about history. And first is that there is kind of a lack of understanding of the importance of a history and the purpose of it, and that's probably why we do not quite know what is the history, what is the purpose of history. And second, sometimes we kind of put our personal history behind us, and here it's because of the fear negative emotions when we try to examine our past, and these emotions or negative emotions can affect our self-confidence, our self-esteem, our self-image, because what we went through may have a negative impact on us. So they can be, for example, tragic event, something like that. And then also we think that the past is the past. There is no way to revisit or to unpack it. And finally, we have no idea where and how to start. So these are a couple of ideas that we have, about the past, and I have to mention that this before, this workshop or this model of workshop is developed based on the findings of my PhD research, which was about what influences business leadership creation success among immigrants who have faced disappointments and or hardships in their early lives. And these disappointments may be related to civil war, etc., genocide, as well. So where we go from here, it is about history literacy and awareness. We should be aware and literate about our own personal history, and for a couple of reasons. One is that we need to address history as a guiding signpost, which means that it can show us a right direction, though that history cannot give us all the details of how we can direct ourselves or direct our lives, but it is a guiding signpost. It can, it shows us a right direction. And the second, we need to address history as a warning sign. It shows us what to avoid by showing the most common mistakes that we are apt to make or to repeat. And finally, we needed to address history as a way of being more effective. It helps us develop the inward drive and the tenacity to carry out what we do. And this is a very kind of important aspect of a history, is what kind of strengths that it helps us develop. And then when I was doing my research, my PhD research, all the immigrants that I interviewed, two traits were among them, common among them. One was the inward drive and the tenacity to carry out what they do. So no matter what could have happened to them, because of what they went through, they have built sort of strengths, tenacity, inward drive to keep being creative and keep being innovative. So, and how do we tackle this? How do we tackle history? So it starts with the stories and conversations that we have with ourselves and for ourselves. So as you can see that, to me, the way that we can define history, or history has a kind of two components. One is that it's the knowledge of the past. So we needed to know what has happened. So that one component. And the other component is the vision of the future. It's really the vision of the future. It's in other words, history is kind of the orientation of the present in the orientation of the present towards the future based on the past, based on what has happened. So how can we turn our personal history into powerful leadership? Okay. There are 4 strategies or 4 activities that we can use, okay, as a center for our gravity, okay, and of course, as a way to turn it into powerful, okay, leadership. So first is that we needed to identify the event, okay. So here we needed to identify what has happened, what is the circumstance, okay. Um, and so through our lives, we have faced a lot of events. So we need to kind of to identify a meaningful or one of meaningful events that has happened, okay, in our lives. And second, we need to assign to that event optimistic optimistic words or attributions, and here we can ask ourselves, this question: what optimistic words do I assign to this event? And which leads me to the next, okay, the next approach or the next activity. We needed to develop a personal story. Okay, what is the story that I am telling myself, okay, based on what has happened to me? Okay, what is it? What is that plot? So, for example, when I was doing my research, my PhD research, one of the immigrants told me, okay, and it was during the COVID, and then you told me that the COVID pandemic has greatly hit his business, and he was obliged to lay off his a lot of his employees, and then he said to me, I have survived civil war, and what else? I cannot survive and thrive. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. You need kind of to develop a personal story, and that a personal story should be like a powerful, should be impactful. Okay. And finally, okay, we needed to extract, okay, strengths, okay, from that event, and how we apply those strengths in our personal lives and in our okay, leadership. So what, and here the question is, what strengths, attitudes can I draw from the event? Which aspect of the event that have contributed to developing these okay, skills. So these are kind of the 4 activities that we can use to turn our okay, past pain, okay, into okay, powerful, okay, leadership. So we identify the event, we assign optimistic words to that event, we develop a personal story, and then we apply, we extract the strengths, and then we apply those strengths, okay, into our business leadership or life, okay, leadership. So and here I would also say that usually when a crisis, when a tragic event, okay, happens, whatever it is, it can be losing a job, it can be the COVID, okay, that we have okay, actually experienced. There are 2 pathways that we can take, okay, to make sense of it. One pathway is what I call by anti sense making, okay? So which leads us to what I call a sort for negative meaning making. So when we take that pathway, okay, usually we get stuck. We get trapped. There is no door of creativity. There's no door of innovation because how we negatively assign, okay, I can say the words to the event that we have gone through. But when we take another pathway, which from which these activities are built on, which is optimistic pathway, we are able to develop these strategies, these 4 strategies. So that being said, so usually, as I said, I conduct my workshop in person. So I have a couple of exercises. So you can do this, on your own when you are, in at home or at your workplace. So building on your life history, can you identify a moment of pain? Okay, what is that moment of pain? And what meanings do you assign to it and why? So here, even when we talk about meanings, you can assign it a negative meaning or positive meaning. It depends on what kind of meanings that you wanted to assign to this event, and you have to say why. So how does it shape your personality? How does that event you have went through shape your personality? How does it make you? Does it make you more perseverant? Does it make you more resilient? More creative? So you write it down 2 or 3 traits related to your personality, traits, and of course what other people can think of you. So the idea behind this exercise is to provoke your thoughts, ideas, and how you can make a sense of your story. Okay, there are no right or wrong answers. Okay, so you just enjoy the conversation with yourself. Let me pause here a little bit before I move on to the next slide. If you have any question, or maybe we save questions at the end of the workshop or webinar or what?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yes, I was asking that if I can pause here, and if someone has question to ask, or something like, before I move to my next slide.
Yeah, we can pause here to see if anybody does. I'm not able to see the our list. I know that there are people on. Are you able to see the attendees list?
Yes, I think so. But they can put they can
yeah, just pop the question in the Q&A or the chat if you have it.
Okay, so so feel free to to put any question in the chat whenever you can. So let's see. So another exercise that I usually have is what story do you tell yourself about the event? So you create a plot of your personal story, internal voice. Okay, the idea is to help you be aware of your vision, meaning, and individual strengths. Okay, and And second, what strengths do you extract from your plot, okay, narrative? So for example, the example that I have just provided with my, interviewee, you can see in that plot, in that narrative, there is determination, okay, there is a tenacity, okay, and there is a perseverance, there is creativity, okay, as well. And sometimes I am a little bit hesitant to quote unquote hesitant, okay, to say the word resilience, because nowadays it's being a popular word, because I think that someone can be resilient and not be able to thrive, and just someone can be resilient and be at the same time immune to the suffering, immune to what has happened, okay, to him or to her, and not being able to seek out, okay, new opportunities for growth and for triumph. And so I have seen this, okay, in my lifetime. I did not mention that when I was 12 years old, I survived civil war, okay, back, okay, in the Republic of the Congo, in Africa. So in my community, or in my town, in my country, I have seen people who are really, okay, resilient because of what they want for, and yet they are unable to thrive. They are unable to seek out new opportunities to better, okay, themselves and better, okay, their own lives. So that's why I am saying that sometimes when we talk about resilience, it doesn't always mean that someone is able to thrive after what has happened to him or to her. Someone can get stuck, okay, in that event and become immune to that. Yeah, so to get back to what I was saying, yes, so what strengths do you extract from your plot, okay, narrative? And think about a time where external challenges or perceived expectations that might have encouraged you not to. What role that internal voice, your personal story, plays in your business? What insights or reflections come up, for you? So yes, so this is kind of the exercise you can do, okay, on your own, or at your workplace. So and finally, I have a couple of words for reflections for you. How was this experience for you? Did anything surprise you? So I want to say, thank you very much for attending, and of course for this event. And I want to leave you with this quote, that history is not the past. It is who we are. It invokes inspirations that shape our present and future, okay, conditions. So you can also visit my my website. I have quite a lot of small videos there, and then feel free to reach out to me if you have any, okay, additional questions, or anything that may of interest of you, for you. So once again, I want to say thank you very much for attending. I wish that we had the opportunity to do exercise, because that's something that really I like a lot, because I'm also a teacher at BU Emerson College, so all of my classes are more interactive. So I like engaging my audience. But I can understand the circumstance in which we are. So but and please, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Yeah, I will be I'm happy to answer. So once again, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Everyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out either to me or directly to him. I'm happy to pass along any information. Dr. Massage, thank you so much. We so appreciate your time for us today. So I will see everybody later. Thank you all for attending.